Hi guys, Alex Taylor down here at Living Golf Academy, and today I'm going to be testing the brand new Ping G410 iron. So, Ping G410, it's still very much a kind of game improvement iron, but with a bit more of a twist that it's trying to kind of look and feel a bit more like a player's iron. So it kind of sounds to me like they're trying to tick all the boxes, which I think is very, very hard with any club. I think it kind of pretty much needs to be one or the other. But I've very fortunately been sent 5-iron, 7-iron and pitching wedge by Ping to test. These are set up absolutely perfectly for me. So we're going to have a look at the heads, kind of talk about a bit of the tech, talk about the lofts in there. I'm going to hit some shots on GC Quad, and we're going to see, is G410 any good? And if it is, might it be something that's going in your bag for 2019? So we look at the Ping G410 iron. So we've taken more weight out of the back of the club head, and we've put more weight into the toe and into the heel to give more forgiveness. We are looking at a shorter blade from heel to toe than we saw with G400, thinner top line and 10% less offset. So certainly moving more towards a player's looking club, but with the extra forgiveness that the G range has always given us from Ping. So the 5-iron, 23.5 degrees. Again, not hugely strong in loft. Still very, very good looking. Can just start to see a little bit of the sole of the club at the back, but certainly not as chunky as some of the G ranges we've seen in the past. So with the 7-iron, we're looking at 30 degrees, so not massively strong compared to some of the stuff out there, but we can see lots and lots of weight low, so CG low, definitely going to launch the ball up in the air. It'll be interesting to see at 30 degrees how much backspin we still create. Pitching wedge weighing in at 44.5 degrees. Again, pretty good, getting to that stronger side. We would expect to see that with a game improvement club. But again, certainly when we look from the top, a pretty good looking wedge for one of the more forgiving models that Ping are making. Right then, so we've seen from the close-up of the 5-iron, the 7-iron and the pitching wedge. Still ram-packed full of technology, so very, very forgiving. Well, that's the claim. Still going to be very, very forgiving. But definitely for me, when you put it behind the golf ball, looks more like a player's club. Still not for me quite getting there. But for my eye, I prefer the shorter blade. Definitely prefer the less offset in this. Still for me, maybe just a little bit thick top line. But I think for a lot of guys out there, that'll really appeal, particularly in the kind of longer irons that'll look a bit more powerful. So let's hit some real balls, GC Quad. Let's look at some numbers. Let's give you some feedback on how they feel as well, because certainly with the change in the back of the club head, lots of dampening effect, trying to soften the kind of feel and the sound. So hopefully this not too loud and possibly a little bit softer than previous models. So 5-iron first off, here we go. So still a little bit clicky for me, but distance wise pretty good and getting out around that 200 mark with a 5-iron. Obviously not everybody out there is going to be swinging at my speed, and some of you guys will be swinging quicker, but I still think that one launched up in the air for something that's 23.5 degrees. Didn't seem to come out too low. Now that was a little bit off the bottom, so it'll be interesting to see performance-wise what drop off. Not a huge amount, looks like 10 yards. We'll see on carry, but still very, very accurate for a little bit of a miss hit. So that one felt nice and solid again. Not quite drawing back. Again, carry was good, and what I do like here, and again we'll see this when we look at numbers, looks like these are coming in quite steep, so even if the backspin's not hugely high for a 23.5 degree 5-iron, we'd still be hoping to get the ball to stop from the angle of attack. And again, didn't quite get that one. And again, though, pretty good. So definitely for me, I think maybe just feels a little bit softer than last year, but certainly we're not getting into that same kind of feel that I210 would be giving us. But one last one with 5-iron. Again, a little bit bottomy. But certainly accuracy-wise, these have all been pretty decent. Okay, so let's jump across from 5-iron onto 7-iron. And again, I still like the look of this, and I do think kind of the little bit more kind of brush steel finish I think it looks again a bit more like a player's club, but 5-iron looked pretty good even on those ones I didn't quite get. So let's see how 7-iron flies. Again, definitely working those bottom grooves today. Just under 160 with that first one, so not super long, but like I said, didn't quite get that one. Okay, shot number 2. That felt better. You can see higher flight, getting out there nearer that kind of 170. So I would probably have expected around probably 180 to 185 carry with 5-iron. So probably about that 160 to 165 with 7. Just got that one turning a little bit more than I would like. That one's gone a long way, but again, we're just de-lofting that one a little bit and getting it out there a little bit longer. Okay, so last couple with 7-iron. That'll definitely test it. That was not good. Again, yeah, do you know what? Pretty good performance from a very ordinary strike on that one. Very low on the face. You feel those on the fingers on a cold day in January down at Lytham Golf Academy. But one final one, 7-iron. That's as good as it gets. Again, high, long, and yeah, doing everything I would expect 7-iron to do there. So final one, let's switch over onto pitching wedge. So moving to pitching wedge, like I said, 44.5 degrees. Now, I do love when the samples come in as well, taking the plastic off that face, knowing that this is the first ball that's ever been hit with this one, is nice. It's a shame you only get one go at it. So wedge, again, 5 shots. Let's see how it goes. That felt very quick off the face for a wedge. Again, not bad. Nice and accurate, which hopefully I would tend to be pretty accurate with pitching wedge. But I thought first shot that felt very nice, but like I said, did feel it kind of jumped off the face a little bit. And again, nice high flight. Very close to the first one. Drag that one off to the left. That's very loose. It was the kiss of death there, having said how good I was with those first couple of wedge shots. So definitely will have gone a few yards further. But last couple with pitching wedge. Hits it very high. Again, I think certainly for you guys who maybe need that little bit of help getting the ball up in the air, G410 is still going to be a great option for that, but just having a bit more of that player's club look to it. That one, just a little bit of a pull again. Not too bad. And pretty good on distance. Right guys, so I do like the looks. I think they're a big improvement on the previous model. Feel wise, I'm not sure for me. Not sure it feels loads softer than previous model. But let's look at numbers, because I mean looks and feel are really important. But does G410 perform? Okay there guys, so we look at the averages. We've got 5-iron, 7-iron pitching wedge. As you'd expect, we see the ball speed quickest with 5-iron, dropping off down to pitching wedge. For me, launch angle's probably just a fraction higher than I would normally get with my set. But the really interesting thing for me there is you look at the distance of 182, maybe not quite as far as I would expect. 7-iron, pretty much what I would expect. And pitching wedge, maybe a couple of yards back. But I thought if you look at the spin numbers there, they're very interesting. For me, the 5-iron spun a lot. Now, possibly with CG being a bit lower there, and a lot of guys that may be going for this model needing that extra bit of help keeping the ball in the air to keep the ball going forward and get that distance, that might be why there's a bit more spin there. But that would seem a little high for me. 7-iron in a 30-degree 7-iron, I think, is around about right at just under 6,000, and the pitching wedge was quite low. So I think the way possibly these irons are designed is it's definitely trying to get the guys with the short irons getting the ball out there. 7-iron most guys are pretty good with, but as you're getting into those long irons, it looks as though they're trying to keep the ball in the air a little bit more, possibly give guys a little higher ball flight and give them the chance to get the ball further and landing quicker on, stopping quicker on those greens. Right then guys, so we looked at the numbers, and to be fair, I thought 7-iron was exactly what I thought it would be. 5-iron, like I said, I thought spun a little bit more, but maybe I can see some theory in that for the guys who don't keep the ball in the air enough. And I always think, you know, they need to get those kind of short irons out there a bit more. So interesting numbers for me, not exactly what I expected. Are they a good set of clubs? Yeah, they're going to be great for some of the guys out there. But as ever, you need to get along, try them, get fitted, ideally hit a few bits side by side, see what works best for you, and put anything that's a big improvement in your bag to help you play better. So guys, hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, like and share it, comment below, and I'll get back to as many of you as I can. Subscribe to the channel as you would. Click the subscribe button and ring the notification bell. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter, both under Ali Taylor Golf. Hopefully catch up with some of you guys down here in the future. Stay in contact.